Hello, everybody. Today I'm here with my next Disney Heroes Battle Mode hero concept, and today I have created Mirabel from Disney's Encanto. So let's take a closer look at her. And I guess I should probably mention, this is not Bruno. I know most of you would probably rather see Bruno, but I think it's fair to say that I don't know what moveset he would have. I think it's also fair to say it's hard to come up with a moveset for Mirabel, considering I also had to do that, or at least come up with some ideas that could work for Mirabel, and it's hard, but I thought of a way that I think would work pretty well, and we'll see. But yeah, it was really, it took a very long time to make her, but I'm pretty happy with the final result. The smile is maybe a little off, but other than that I think her face looks pretty good. She does have kind of a yellow tint on her cheek, which the picture I was referencing for colors had like a lot of sun in the, like, that's why her skin had a lot of yellow on it, and I feel like it looks a little weird when the sun isn't obvious here. She's like in this dark space, but other than that I think it turned out okay. And then it's pretty similar to Luca in terms of the detailing in the hair. I thought it was pretty important to do a good amount of lighting in different colors for the hair, since it is so like elaborate. Her curls are so important to the look of her character, and with these 3D based characters I think it makes sense to do a little bit more detail and that kind of thing. But yeah, it took a very long time. I worked on it for a few days, very spread out though. This one took the longest out of this quote-unquote season 2 so far, but it was a lot of fun making her, and I'm glad that I did make her, because I think Encanto really deserves a spot, at least one for Mirabel. I think it would make a lot of sense for them to add Bruno, because he's very popular right now, but we will see. But yeah, like I said, she turned out pretty good I think. Let me know what you think of the design I came up with for her, and let's go through some of the skills I thought of. So I think it would make sense for her to have some sort of dancing or maybe even singing move, but I have the animation here of her dancing. Like, she dances a lot. I just chose one scene, but I think it makes sense to at least have her do some sort of twirl or something, and then give everybody a boost, because that's kind of her whole character, is to support the people around her in her life. So supporting the fellow teammates with that move would make the most sense, and it's just the most basic thing that Mirabel does in the movie that I think could translate into a move. And then I also have this healing move, which is another kind of supportive, where she eats the arepa con queso. I think that's what it's called, right? I just happen to remember that off the top of my head, I think. That her mom makes, and then she heals. And maybe it heals the whole team, but it kind of makes more sense if she's eating it that it would only heal her specifically. But I think it's a pretty obvious healing move that would make a lot of sense for her to have. And then for the next one, or for the next couple, they were all based on other characters from the movie. So in my hypothetical moveset, they would just appear. Usually, though, I have like 3 of them, and in the game they wouldn't typically have 3 summons, but I don't really know what else to give Mirabel for moves. So the first one I thought of was a pretty obvious one, where her sister, I don't know her name, I apologize, but the strong one of the family would do something. I just have an animation from her musical number. But maybe she like jumps in and hits all the enemies, similar to Mr. Incredible's like ground pound. I think that would make sense for her. But there are a lot of different things she does in the movie that I think could translate into one of the moves for Mirabel's moveset. The next character I thought of was Isabel. I think it's supposed to be pronounced Isabel. And there's really a multitude of things she could do. I thought of using like the cactus at first as her main thing, but I like the idea of her like rushing through on this vine and spraying this like powder everywhere, like in the scene in the musical number. And maybe even Mirabel could grab on to her hand and like go along with her, because they both kind of do it in the scene. So I think this one makes the most sense for a summon. just because Mirabel is actually also part of the move, where she's also kicking around the powder, same as Isabel. And then finally, like I said, it would be really hard not to include Bruno in this in some way. So Bruno would predict the enemy's future, and obviously, as always, Bruno predicts something bad is going to happen. The other team is going to lose. The other team is going to take damage, something, and then they either just take damage or like they get a bad status effect. Maybe he pours sand on them. I don't know, but it would be, like I said, it would be hard not to have Bruno if they're going to get Encanto characters. So if they're only doing Mirabel, then Bruno needs to show up in some way. So yeah, those are all the moves I thought of. The friendships I came up with, I think a pretty good one would be Merida. They both have, I know Abuela isn't like the mother figure, but like a parental figure in a way, authority figure maybe, in their lives, who at first they kind of clash with, but in the end end up becoming like very close and loving each other even more than they already did. So they both have a similar kind of story in that way. And then she gets along well with kids, so I thought of like Lilo maybe, kind of like her Antonio in the game, but I don't know. I had a hard time thinking of friendships for her. I kind of scrolled through the list of characters and was having a hard time thinking of ones that would really connect with her. But she connects with everybody pretty well, so I don't really think there's any characters that she wouldn't get along with anyways. But if you have any good ideas, I'd love to hear them. But yeah, that was my hero concept for Mirabel. I have an idea for one I would like to do next. It's somewhat of a more recent movie, and it's the reason I want to do it is mostly because I think it's going to be pretty easy and it's not going to take very much time. Mirabel took a very long time, so I kind of want a break from that and make a pretty easy one. And as I keep thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I really want to do that character, so that's probably going to be the next one I want to do. I feel like this was pretty pointless to point out because I didn't tell you who the character was, but I guess the point is that I have a pretty good idea of who I want to do. I'm trying to kind of keep an even spread of the types of characters I'm including, like classic Disney characters, modern characters, Pixar characters, TV show characters. And I know request-wise, TV show characters seem to be the most popular, so I will probably do it like at least one more this season. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.